Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today we're talking about The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley. It's a mystery thriller, specifically a murder mystery, and it's kind of like the guest list. So very much like the guest list in a lot of ways. So the murder mystery follows a group of friends who are like every year they spend New Year's together. And this year they're at some remote cabin in the woods. And well, not one cabin, it's like this lodge retreat thing in the woods in somewhere in Scotland. And it is snowing. It is snowing. There's a snowstorm, people can't leave, and someone's dead. So, like the guest list, right in the beginning of the novel, you know that someone is dead, like someone died. And then as the novel continues, you kind of have to find out who died and who did it, which is kind of my thing. Firstly, I don't care. I don't really care that it is a lot like the guest list because going into it, Lucy Foley's writing was just so beautiful that I didn't mind the similarities so much. So you have this kind of charismatic main character who, in this instance, it's like the queen bee type who's looks like she has it all figured out, but she kind of doesn't, and her life's all messed up. And then there are her friends, her best friends, her friends who aren't really, who've got their own little secrets and stuff. And you also have an outsider. So one of her friends is now married. And then you also have like this almost love triangle where it's like there's this one couple or this one person and they're kind of in a relationship, but they're still attracted to the main character, right? And that is what happened in this case. Our main character is Miranda. She is kind of, I think she's a stay at home mom. Yeah. And she's married to this guy, Julian. Um, and all these friends go out, and there's trouble in their marriage. Um, I'm not really sure why she had to have. There are 9 friends altogether, 4 couples, and then there is like a friend who's single, who's kind of the odd one out, and they all go together. But why she had to have 9 people, I really don't know because I think 2 of the couples you don't. Well, there's one couple that really you don't get any interaction really with them. There isn't much. They don't. Well, they don't have any POVs. They don't have any effect on the actual story. They're just there. And yeah, not sure why they were there. So the cast could have been a lot smaller. With the guest list, there was a big cast because obviously they were all coming to the wedding, to a wedding, and it made sense for there to be a lot of people. But in this case, it's like, why are these people there when you know nothing happens to them or with them? Then there's also the owners or the people working at this not a guest house, but this place in the woods. There's the gameskeeper. It's like a game reserve, so you can go hunting and stuff. So there's the gameskeeper, and then there's kind of like the manager. And they've also got like their own secrets. They've got their dark backgrounds. Um, and they both also have POV. So the POV characters are the gameskeeper, the manager of like the whole reserve. Then there's Miranda, Emma, and who else? And Katie. So Emma's the newcomer. Katie is the best friend who's estranged. I think in the guest list, it was her sister, like the bride's sister played, not played, was like the best friend person who's kind of estranged now, and they don't really talk anymore. So it's kind of the same character dynamics, the same character archetypes. Like Miranda's a bit of a bully, and in the story, you kind of learn about her life, where she's at. You kind of get to know her through her own eyes, which was interesting because instead of for much of the book, instead of flashbacks to, I don't know, this like college thing, you have people just talking about their own stories and their lives in relation to Miranda. So you have their own little backstories as the weekend progresses, their own backstories, and that was kind of cool. The pacing for this one is slow. I think there are 3 days before the actual event of the murder happens. And for the first 2 days, like nothing, just plot wise, nothing really happens because these friends they're like settling into the cabin, they have dinners, and the real action only kind of happens. It's like 2 days of setup and then 2 days of actual plot, where I feel like that one day could have actually been, those first 2 days could have been squished together into one day, or it could have been just like 2 days. I think there was enough story and enough just like lag time when no one's actually doing anything to it didn't have to be that long. It could have been shorter, basically, is the point. This sounds like a roast, but like well, it doesn't actually sound like a roast. It sounds like a negative review, but it actually isn't. So the book could have been shorter. It could have used a smaller cast, but I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the characters. It's a lot less plot driven, even though you know at some point during the weekend someone's gonna die, and then you need to figure out who does it. It's a very character driven thing, so you're more engaged with the individual characters and their little backstories and finding out who they are. And then when the murder actually happens, it's like, I think that was the least interesting part of the book for me. When you finally find out like who died and who killed them, it's very lackluster. It's very, uh, okay, whatever. But like the journey to that point was lovely. It was a beautiful, just like it felt like a contemporary more than a kind of murder mystery. And it read well. Like Lucy Foley is like she has these one-liners and just these ways of observing human life and making commentary on just human nature that that's beautiful. And her thingies become like her books kind of become a, what do you call it, they become almost like a symbol for something, whether it's secrets or whether it is, creating a new life, and or like living a double life, all of that. I don't know what I'm saying. All in all, I gave this one a 3 star. I definitely preferred the guest list to this one, but um, yeah, like I said, I don't know. I really like Lucy Foley's writing, so I liked her writing, and that for me was enough to just like lose myself in this book. It was very, even though it was slow in the beginning, it was easy to get through. I listened to it on audio, to the audiobook, which had like a full cast of characters. I'm narrating it. There was a thing with like the Doug, who's the groundskeeper. He's the only like male person being narrated in this thing, and his thing was the only one in the second person, like in a second person POV, or in a third person POV actually. He was the only one in a third person POV. Everyone else was first person, had like first person narration. So I don't know, like it felt, I suppose it added like a level of creepiness, or like when you actually figure it out, when you start to notice, it's like, is there something here? Maybe he's the one, maybe he's the bad guy, maybe there's going to be another reveal about why this guy's thing is in, third person. um so I was expecting that. I was kind of expecting that. That didn't happen at all. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the guest list. Not the guest list, the hunting party. Have you read this book? Let me know in the comments below. What were your thoughts? Is it something that you're looking to read? Um, I definitely preferred. I think I'm repeating myself. I should stop this video now. Yes. So those are my thoughts on The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley. Definitely check it out if it sounds like something you'd be interested in, or don't if it doesn't sound like something you'd be interested in. I'll catch you next time. Bye.